happy to be back in the studio, you know what I'm saying? Because it's been a while, and I know y'all been missing me, I've been missing y'all, so I'm gonna get right into it, you know what I'm saying? Today's topic might turn a little heads. Some people might be upset about the things I'm about to say, but I gotta be me, you know what I'm saying? I gotta be authentic. My authentic self, as we like to say nowadays, right? So the first topic I'm gonna get into it. It's controversial. You know, I talked to a few people about it, and they was like, "Nah, you're wrong," and I disagree. So my question to you is, what was worse for the black community? Was it slavery or crack cocaine? Now, my argument is that it's crack cocaine. And the reason why I say that is because crack cocaine was implemented by the government, right? Okay, cool. But we did it to ourselves. Like, that's my problem with it. And that's why I think it's worse, because a lot of us are still being affected by that right now. You know what I mean? The way that it hit our community, and it individualizes, I think, you know. So slavery, of course, right? We were bought and sold and traded, and the families are torn apart. But it wasn't a choice. It was something that was being done to. We were literally oppressed, right? So when you look at it from that standpoint, it's different, because when you make the choice to do something that you know is damaging your community, like people would sell crack to someone's mom. You know what I'm saying? Like, you my boy, I'm in the game. I've known you since we were 5, 6 years old, and I'm letting your mom get high. Hey, I got to get it, right? It is what it is. That mentality, and a lot of us still have that mentality right now. A lot of people just don't care. I'm gonna get mines regardless, right? That mindset did not come from slavery. That came from crack cocaine epidemic. You know what I'm saying? Because if you look at it in the 20s and 30s and 40s, we were building businesses, colleges, doctors, lawyers. We had our own society, right? And education was at the forefront of that. You know, if you didn't have education, that's just not what we represented, right? We was growing, we was building, and we did build things, right? Howard University, right? Those things are still implemented. The sororities, you know what I'm saying? The Divine Nine were built during those time periods, right? Crack cocaine came in and changed that game. You know what I'm saying? People became a lot more individuals, right? We looked at like the Black Movement, the Black Panther, right? Destroyed it. Drugs destroyed that organization that was doing so much for the Black community. And so that's why I think that's why it's worse. We rebuilt ourselves. It's like getting out of an abusive relationship, right? And so dust yourself off, get back at it, and then what happens is you get out of that relationship, and then you go to another fucked up relationship. Like, that's just a double whammy. That's the way you got to take it. It's worse because we had been through the oppression. We had clawed and got out the gutter just to go right fucking back. Now, I understand a lot of people are going to say, well, the government implemented, and people were just trying to provide for themselves. True, some people were. But 9 times out of 10, when you talk about the big people, the head honchos, it wasn't about surviving after that. It wasn't about paying bills. It was about having Bentleys and Rolls Royces, and going on vacations, and that notoriety that people still today. I mean, the rap game is molded by the crack epidemic. Looking good, smelling good, you know, got all these hoes and stuff like that. Like, that's what that became. That is not about putting food on your table. Make it make sense, right? Like, it's just different. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why I think it was so hard for us and how it destroyed us was because then you transfer that to how we view women, right? Pimps and hoes and all that stuff, right? So many people were in the dope game and doing all these things. A lot of men who are now in jail, they were doing that to get women. And so they go to jail, they're not in their families' lives, right? And they were throwing a brick at people, right? 30, 40 years. You're gone. Your child is raising themselves. And so we put our women in a very peculiar and fucked up situation. You know what I'm saying? Like, women had to be both mothers and fathers, you know what I'm saying, to the children, you know what I'm saying, our parents, our uncles and aunts and things of that nature. And that's why I said we're still affected by it when we really think about it. And I wonder, has that shaped how we treat our women in general? like has the women, our black women, right? Our mothers, our aunties, our sisters, have they been molded by that to a point to where that's all they know, right? Is being both. Like chivalry is dead. Newsflash, if you didn't know it, is dead. But a lot of part of that is because women have gotten accustomed to taking care of themselves. They don't let men take care of them because one, a lot of men who grew up from that epidemic didn't have their fathers around, so they don't even know how to treat women in the first place. You know what I'm saying? I can say I was definitely a victim of that. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, I thought I knew how to treat women. I didn't. I saw them as objects. I was trying to get pussy. I was trying to get this, trying to get that. So I wasn't really viewing them as a human being because I wasn't taught how to treat women, how to love on a woman. I had to learn for myself. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of women got the wrong end of that stick for a long period of time until I did some work on myself. So I think that crack and the way it's affecting our community in a way it's still to this day fucking with us. That's why it's just so fucked up, ladies and gentlemen. Because our women have gotten accustomed to just doing things on their own. They don't need you. I mean, literally, there's songs about it. Like nowadays, female rappers are doing their thing. Clap on, clap off for them. But a lot of what they talk about is not needing a motherfucker. Not needing nigga for shit, right? Excuse my language, but that's the truth. And also with that, what that music does is that it programs people, right? So many people literally think music is life. That's the way they think, that's the way they act. It's all based off the music that they internalize, right? They go to sleep listening to it, they wake up listening to it, and so they enact the things that they see on music videos and things of that nature. So, and a lot of that music that we're talking about is highly sexualized, right? You know, so is that music? Are we as a community programming our women to breed? I'm gonna let you sit with that. Think about that. Are we programming women to breed? Our women, especially. Our women are so over sexualized, either by themselves or by the way men view them, the way the world views them. Everybody want a taste of that chocolate, right? It's exotic. Like, think about the way that you talk about women for a second. Women, think about the way that you think about yourselves. Women nowadays literally will walk up to bitch. Like they greet each other with that. And I understand it's a term of endearment, right? I understand them trying to take ownership of the word. I understand all those different things, but the reality is you're still doing it and words matter. So I think that with that, right, the way we're treating our women and the way crack has affected our community is also done one other thing that's very damaging to us. We've become each other's competition. Why is there always a power struggle? Black women aren't being protected. Men aren't being heard. Black men are the most targeted group. No, women, we're unprotected and da 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 da. Like we're all trying to say, no, I got it fucked up. We all got it fucked up, ladies and gentlemen. Newsflash. Why do we have to? Why does one have to be worse than the other? We should be building each other up, not trying to point the finger and say, no, you're better off. You have male privilege and all these different things. And I'm not saying that those things aren't reality, but why do we have to point them out in an argument to try to gain some type of power within our relationships? Some of you right now are listening, are in a power struggle in your relationship. You're trying to prove to him that you don't need him, and he's trying to prove to you that he's a man, and all these different things. Instead of just loving on each other, instead of just trying to build each other up, we are constantly trying to say, I'm the dominant one. I control this relationship because I'm a man. I don't need you for shit. Men ain't shit. All these different things that we constantly say to each other all the time, all the time, all the time, all the time. Like, we got to get better at that, ladies and gentlemen. Why does that power struggle exist? And we preach it to our kids, right? We have a daughter, right? You have kids. And you say your daughter, make sure you don't need a man for shit. You saying that to an 8-year-old, 10-year-old. So you ingrain that programming into them. And so when they grow up and they meet someone at 14, 15, she's already pushing the relationship away because she's trying to make sure that she doesn't need nobody. And our women are being very successful, right? They're working, they have more degrees than men because they have that mindset that I have to take care of myself. Now, men have this notion that we have to provide, right? Now, I don't really know if that's true nowadays or not. You know, that old mindset is going away, right? We have a new age of thinking. And so with that, you have men trying to prove that they can provide by any means necessary, right? That's the mentality that we have. And because we're always, comparing each other, we're comparing our relationships, we're comparing our families, we're comparing our status, right? That affects our relationships as well. Instagram and Facebook and everyone going on trips, and that ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't a traveler. Again, newsflash, everybody traveling ain't for everybody. I've traveled with some people and I'm like, you should have just took your broke ass home. This isn't for you at this moment. And that's cool. Just because I travel and I travel within my relationships doesn't mean that you got to do that. That's another power struggle because if that man can't take you to Miami for a weekend, then he ain't shit. But he love the head out of you, do anything for you. But because he can't cash you out and buy bottle service, he ain't shit. Like that's a really, really fucked up way to think. You know what I'm saying? And I think a lot of times that's why men avoid marriage because we aren't feeling like we're needed. For what? You don't need me, right? You got your own house, you got your own car, and those are good things. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I want a woman that have those things, but there's a mentality that comes with it as well. When a woman is established, she moves a certain type of way, she talks a certain type of way, and a lot of those women are discrediting men. I told you I was gonna piss some of y'all off. Think about it. Think about some of the females that you know, the ones that are established. They seem to be single a lot, don't they? They seem to have 2-week relationships. Oh, girl, I was talking to him, but blah, 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 blah. Dude could have been good. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that men don't have their problems. That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about this power structure and this need. I know we live in a capitalist society, but still, come on, man. Some of y'all take that shit a little too far. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's okay to want somebody. It's okay to be in a healthy relationship. And that healthy relationship is going to look different for every single body. We got to stop comparing yourself to the Joneses. You know what I'm saying? Like money isn't everything. And I understand that nowadays, men tell each other, well, men, we the prize. We say that to each other now, right? And to some degree, I understand that. Men should feel like there is worth about them, that there is something that women should seek. But I don't think anyone should be a chaser. I don't think anyone should be like, oh, I'm trying to get you and I'm trying to prove to you, how much I want you. No, I'm a man of my word and my actions follow suit. That's all that should be what it is. I shouldn't have to take you to Miami. I shouldn't have to cash out. If I tell you I care about you and I show it, then fuck with your boy. It should really be that simple, ladies and gentlemen. Like, stop looking for someone to always try to prove something to you. You know what I'm saying? Just listen to what they say. And if they back it up with their actions, then cool. There you go. So you are the prize. She is the prize. We are the prize. Our community is the prize. We got to do better about understanding that this power structure has to go or we will destroy each other. The Black family is under attack, and the worst part of it is we're doing it to ourselves. You don't have to agree with me. Just think about it. That's all I'm asking. You know what I'm saying? I don't know it all. I'm not going to pretend I do. But you are listening right now, so I got something to say, something to offer. So just think about that. How you are impacting not only yourself, but your kids, your family, and your community. we're more than just individuals, right? We are a people, for the people, by the people. You know what I'm saying? I think if we get back to that, ladies and gentlemen, really, we say, it's the culture. Well, the culture is us. And so we have to be a reflection of what we want our culture to be. If we aren't, then we're failing ourselves and we're failing the next generation. So that being said, the next generation and the way that we want things to be. So many times I hear nowadays that it's okay for a man to cry. And when I grew up, it was not the case. And the fucked up thing about it was I was a crybaby. I cried all the fucking time. But I hated myself for it. I hated it. And so I pressed those feelings so much that they became anger. And I lashed out a lot of my relationships, jobs, people, friends, because I had this internal anger. And now hear me with this. We said that it's okay for men to cry. But yet when men cry, you call them emotional. Stop acting like a pussy. You being a bitch. Oh, you a girl now? So which one is it? Is it okay for men to cry? Or are men emotional? You can't have your cake and eat it too. If we are telling Black men that it is okay to be in tune with your emotions, that it is okay to have a healthy relationship with your emotions, when they display that in a relationship, you cannot then discredit them as a man. Maybe you need to fix your idea of what a man is. Again, I'm just throwing things out here. I don't know what all this is something for you to think about. Truly think to yourself, is it okay for men to cry? And am I providing an environment that is okay for men to cry? And I'm talking to men too. I'm talking about you raising your boys. You too, yeah. I wasn't just talking to the ladies, talking to you too, gentlemen. The way that you raise your son, the way that you raise your nephew, you have to not only do you have to show them and preach to them the importance of emotional health, but you have to display that emotional health. Your nephew and your son should see you cry. You have a bad day at work. You wonder how you gonna fix the car, the alternator that went bad, and you're fucked up and you're crying. Show your son that. Show your nephew that. It's okay for men to cry. I believe that wholeheartedly. I'm a product of that because I oppressed my feelings for so long, it turned to anger. That's why so many of our men are in jail because they got this internal anger because they're not in tune with their emotions. And because society, to include our community, tells them, man up, stop crying. You ain't no little girl. So it's okay for women to cry, but men can't cry? Make it make sense, right? You're still a human being. I still have emotions. I get sad. I get depressed. I come untethered at times. And that's okay because that's a part of the human experience. And so we as Black people, our community, we have to do better at preaching that. And I see it turning. People are saying those things, that it's okay for men to cry. Are you actively providing an environment to where you mean that? You're displaying that to your uncles, to your nephews, to your fathers. I don't know. It's a tightrope though, because there's a lot of women who don't think that men should cry because they were raised that men don't. And so men, I'm talking to you now, exclusively you, it's okay. If you're dating a woman, she bad, she got a degree, house, all that, but she's not providing a space for you to cry, to be in tune with your emotions, you need to walk away from that situationship. Because in the turn, it's gonna fuck you up and it's gonna fuck your kids up. I mean, just look at our society, look at our community. You can't tell me that if men were more in tune with their emotions, that we wouldn't be better for it. Now that is a statement that I'm gonna die on that hill. That's not really something for you to think of. That's just the way it really is. So I mean, but that being said, the thing about that is that, which is so messed up, but we want our men to be strong. And apparently crying is a weakness, right? But I don't think so. So I was talking to someone, and they gave a point, right? Let's say there's a medical emergency in a family, and everyone's in the hospital, they're boo-hooing. Some people believe that the man has to take over. He has to be strong. He has to show no fear so he can talk to the doctors and do all this. My rebuttal is, why can't he cry and do that at the same time? So if I cry, I'm not handling business. I'm not saying that men should just break down crying like, oh, God, why? That's not what I'm talking about. But I'm saying dropping a tear in the correct moment. But that's everyone. Women should be able to cry, and women should be in check with their emotions as well. Because I know we say women are crazy and they're so emotional and all these things. Hey, women can tough up too, bro. Didn't they raise you? I'm pretty sure a lot of us grew up in single parent homes. So I think women can handle their emotions as well. It's you can be strong, both physically and within your stature, and still be in tune with your emotions. You don't have to make a choice. It's not one or the other. So many times we always want to say it's either this or that. Why can't you have both? Why can't women provide for themselves but also want a man? Why can't there be a space where both things are true? I say this all the time. Two truths are true at the same time. There's not a fact is a fact. A fact doesn't make another fact not a fact. Stop thinking you have to choose what you want to be. You have to choose to be strong, or you have to choose to be emotional, or you have to choose to be a provider, or you have to choose to be a housewife. You don't have to choose. You can have both. You can have strong emotions that are healthy and that you're in tune with. It's okay. If no one's ever told you that, it's okay. You heard it here on the Staying Woke with DJ show. You heard it from me. It's okay. You can be both. You can be strong and be in tune with your emotions at the same time. Say it one more time. One more time. It's okay to be strong and in tune with your emotions at the same time. You are capable of being both. You do not have to choose. It's okay, men, for you to cry and still go to work and pay the motherfucking bills. It's okay. You got it. Now, with that being said, a lot of us now are talking about equality, right? As we transition into this world where, hey, women are the breadwinners, you know, in most cases. Men are still providing, I'm not saying that. But gender equality. What is true gender equality? What does that look like to you? To me, I think that's exactly what I'm describing. That we are okay with men providing or not providing. If your woman is the breadwinner, I'll give you an example. My brother is really, really meant to be a house husband, however you want to describe it. He's great with his kids. You know what I'm saying? He's, you know what I'm saying? He can cook a little bit. He ain't as good as me, but he can cook a little bit. And his partner was a better breadwinner. And when they accepted that, it worked out well for them and the kids. And that's okay. Every relationship looks different. So gender equality for me, it's gonna look different for everybody. But gender equality for me is that gender roles go bye-bye. And that you and your partner or partners decide what's best for you and what that looks like to you. If if it's better for someone to go to school, you know what I'm saying, and you be the breadwinner, or you know what I'm saying, for him to be the breadwinner, whatever it is, it's your relationship. You design your relationship. You control your relationship. Don't let society tell you otherwise. You don't need to read a book and listen to Steve Harvey or Dr. Phil to tell you what to do in your relationship. You know what you want, and it's on you to talk to your partner and communicate about what they need, and so that you guys can display that in a healthy fashion. Every relationship is going to look different. Every individual is different. So how can every relationship not be different as well? It just goes right down the line. And we have to do better at understanding that. So I'm going to leave you with a hot topic, something that's been burning in my chest. Y'all about to be upset at me. Vaccination mandates are bullshit. I'm going to say it again. Some of y'all just said, oh, fuck no, hell no. He tripping. People dying from COVID. That is true. But the point of it is that this is America, last I checked. And what happened to my body, my choice? Does that only pertain to women when it comes to abortions? Or does that include everyone and everyone's choice for their body? I decide whether I want something in my body, not the government. I know y'all, well, you take shots and you take ibuprofen and you do all these other things. Okay, that's my choice. I don't even really take ibuprofen and stuff like that. Wasn't raised on it. I was raised with the ginger ale and go to sleep. That's how I grew up. So I don't if I have a headache, I don't take a Cedrin. I don't know, suffer through it. I have an immune system. I like to use it. And I understand that people have died. I've lost someone to COVID, so I'm not ignorant on that. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to jump on here and say COVID isn't real and it's not as bad as it seems and all those different things. Because I'm not going to negate anyone's feelings. You make your choice for yourself. But for me, it is my choice whether I get a vaccination. The government should have no say-so in whether I get a vaccination or not. Because, and we know, literally this is how the law works. Once you set something in motion, you can't put the genie back in the bottle. Once the government starts telling you you have to do a vaccination, if you think they're not going to do that again, why wouldn't they? If they did it in 2021, why won't they do it again when something pops off in another 3 or 4 years? They've already said the president that the government and you're okay with them doing that. It's the same thing, just like the anti-terrorism bill. Everyone was so scared after 9/11 that they let them pass that bill, and now the government looks at you and says you're a terrorist, you lose all your fucking rights. And most Americans don't even know that. You can't let fear dictate your choices. So I'm gonna leave you with that. That's what I got to say. So we talked about a few different things. Slavery versus crack. Crack for me was so bad. I'm sorry. Slavery was fucked up, but we didn't have a choice. Well, Kanye West said we had a choice. Idiot. But Black community, think about what I said, and I'll be back. And you can leave comments. Hit me on my IG, Stay Woke DJ. Twitter, same thing. Facebook, Staying Woke with DJ. I'm so glad to be back, ladies and gentlemen. Back in the studio, doing my thing. Love y'all. Think about what I said. I'm out.